Hello again, this is the Watering Man, Spiritual Toolbox number 114, the Love Chapter number 90, audio recording number 432, examination table number 94. 94. Now, I'm still in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. Okay, we're going to get her. I'm working on this last part of this again today. Now, let's start off reading it again from the King James Version, okay? Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. That's first whether. Second whether there be tongues, they shall cease. And third whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. That's the same word that they translate as weather in there in all three places. Okay. Just a second, I'll look at it. Yeah, 1535. Was that Ite?
Strong's G, 1535. Ite.
Okay, first time
Ite.
that
Famous
word.
lexicon. I.
Okay,
I.
I'm not going to have it pronounced every time, but there's the first time, second time right down there, 1535, same one, and the third time, whether there be knowledge, okay, it shall vanish away. Okay, now, so we're going to cover whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away, okay? Now, this weather, again, 1435, Ite, E-I-T-E. I just had it pronounced it back earlier in the verse. It's the same word. Okay? And, let's see, I've got the notes here on other pages. Yeah. I got paper clips. Hold it. Okay. Ite conjunction, verified in here, comes from 1487 and 5037. Okay, covered these before. 1535. It's it's Ite. That's if, whether, if, to. Okay. All right. It means whenever you come in this eye of the storms of your life, internally in here in your thinking processes, where God puts the question to you, right? Agree with God back in from all of this stuff and into and E-N-S-Y-N. You're heading back E-N-S-Y-N. God's love beyond words. God's righteousness. God is love. And that love is love beyond words. You're coming back to the ability to, agape is broken down into chav and racham, right? Chav, incompleted love, like he he put that little bit of faith. It was an incompleted love beyond words that he has for us. And we're coming through all this stuff, these storms of life and stuff, and bringing every one of these, however much he wants to bring, transforming that back to the ability to love him the way he first loved us. And he still loves us. He didn't give up on us. So I'll throw you in hell because you did. Because I loved you and then you didn't repay me back. That's not the nature, character, and authority of God. That's not the anoma, or in the Old Testament, the shame, S-H-E-M. That's the way they spell it. It's pronounced shame. That's what the blue letter pronounces it. I'd have to look it up here and get it to pronounce it, but that's the way it's pronounced, okay? Anoma, I think it's O-N-O-M-A. I'd have to look it up to get the number. I don't remember the number. The Strong's is also concordance number, okay? But, that's just the name, the nature, character, and authority of God. And what is that? Just like Jesus' name, that it was translated as Jesus, I-E-S-O-U-S, Yahweh, Not Jehovah or Jehovah with vowels in there that elongate or delay that. See, when God takes these little ball of your thinking processes, like a little bitty area, it's got that little bitty, like, seed of faith, a seed of Christ down in it that turns back to love, to the fullness of life in God, the truth. Okay, and He's taking you through this pressurizing funnel. See, it's a narrowing path. See, broad is the way to destruction, and many are that'll go that way. They won't go. They won't be willing to say yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, daddy. Chop this stuff out, melt it out, skim it out, whatever it takes. They get to a point, and I don't know about that. There might be something good. Boom, your pillar of salt. They can't go no farther. In other words, they're stuck. Maybe they go around and around again. God gives them another opportunity if they're truly blessed. God's faithful. If He meant for them to go farther, they'll go. He brings everybody back. He places us in the body where He sees fit. Everybody you're thinking, and then everyone. Whether they want to or not, whether they're lambasting, whatever, they're eating all this poop stuff, and they are a dog, a big old poop hot dog. Like that bun is like their natural body, and inside they're full of all kinds of SHITTS. Ooh, diarrhea. Because they're seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell as being, they're letting that carnal mind, they're staying in that crap. They're crap thinking. God, shall we try to chop this part of that out? That whole crap thinking out? And let me burn it up. Let me melt it out of you and bring it to the surface. Show you this is ugly in you. And skim it off. Shall we skim it off? Shall we chop it out? Okay? And it starts out the chopping. And this is in each and every thought process. And it gets down to that hard fallow stuff in there that you don't even know about. Man, that's just, or maybe you do, but just, it's stuff you don't want to give up on. You think, oh, this is good, this is great, this is bad, whatever. But it's not what God, it's not this love beyond words of God. It's rotten to the core. Just like that filthy, stinking mistress rags, that poop thinking. See, my righteousness, my right thinking, my thinking processes, that old anthropos thinking is poop. He's getting it out for you. There's just, you can't do it by yourself. That's awesome. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. Okay? I hear my little kitty tweet calling for me there. He'll have to wait a little bit. Say he's wanting fed. So God's bringing us all the way through that. And when we get E-N and S-Y-N, you don't need to, I don't want to get ahead of myself, okay? That's, this if and whether is when that if or whether this, they translate as whether, but it's an if, it's a conditional statement, okay? If you believe you're agreeing, not just intending to do it, but you're doing it. Into yes, sir, Daddy, you're in hot pursuit. I agree. Amen. It means I agree. Yes, sir. So be it. Yes. Yes. It's not, well, maybe. That don't qualify. That qualifies you for a vomit you out of his mouth. Do it again. You're not corrected. You're not going on and God gives the increase. See, when you in hot pursuit, you're increasing. The other way, you're falling away. So this if, it starts again. This is the third phase. And this is getting rid of all of it. There's nothing in there that he's not getting rid of in this sphere, this ball. Okay? All right. Now, yeah, that's probably good enough on that word. I mean, I covered it 3 times in that verse, one verse, okay? But you notice there's 3 phases that you're going through in this. Your Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacles experiences. The first day, the second day, the third day in your earthly thinking. This thing's got to be purified to God's standards. This ball of your thinking processes, okay? Which sound like a marble, maybe. But it's tiny, tiny. But it's in spirit. It's not tangible, a tangible marble out here that you can pick up. No, we're talking about thought process in your mind. To get your mind right, God's transforming all that yuck thinking around it. Returning it back to the lot, to Ian this way, and God, to where you can love Him the way He first loved you. For whatever state, through all these processes, He's transforming it, burning it up, and you burn up like garbage thinking, or it's melting out that stuff that's always rising. It's just transforming that energy, the spirit in that, always from this carnal death realm, this garbage thinking, and always transforming it in an upward manner. Right back into God's right-mindedness. Right where God's righteousness is. So, there's nothing to worry about. Just agree. You're not working. You're not doing it by your might and your power. Your work is to agree with God. Give up that old crap. Surrender that stuff. Surrender that old thinking. Don't just like, here, I'll pay you $100 out here. And then inside you're full of all kinds of bull crap. All kinds of dead men's bones. Lots of ways to say it. All kinds of carnality, non-spiritual mindedness. Can I just hang on to this point a little bit? Aren't I right in this area? It's not that bad, is it? Yes, my child. I put it in there. I subjected you to this stuff. Not on your willing to you. You didn't agree to it. I subjected you to it so I could build this relationship. So this gospel of good news, you can experience it. And this, when you come in, you really appreciate it. It's not taken for granted. Woohoo! Your celebration. It's victory. Okay? Now, almost clearing my throat. I can't hardly do that in a half hour, can I? It's all right. Now, let's see here. Okay, now that was weather. And that's just added by the translators. I don't know. But it comes down to the next word. It's knowledge. And then there's one more word after that. It's translated as it shall vanish away. Okay? Now, so whether that's that if you agree, you go qualify this. You agree in hot pursuit, God increases you. You disagree, you're falling away. You subside and away in a big pile of crap. Like mud, crap, and all that hog slop. Worse than that. Okay? Don't eat that junk. Don't partake in it, okay? Now, whether knowledge, see, God's getting all this stuff out. Whether knowledge, it shall pass away. Now, knowledge comes from, that they translated as knowledge comes from 1108, and it's Gnosis, this word.
Strong's G 1108. Gnosis. Gnosis.
Okay. Now, let's dig into this word. It's a feminine noun. Its etymology comes from 1097. Okay. All right. it means knowing, understanding, the act of knowing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, understanding your knowledge. Okay, not Okay. Now, it comes also from the root of that. Let's go down here. Wait a minute, just for a second. Yeah, down here in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, that gnosis or gnosis, 1108. Yeah, 1108. I was just verifying everything's matching up. Is the act of knowing. Implication knowledge. Okay, let's take a gander at this Thayer's Greek lexicon. Just knowledge. They got understanding, knowledge. There's a whole bunch, quite a bit there. Okay, now let's go to the root of that word. Hang on, it'll jump me back out. Okay. Gnosis, and that comes from 1097, and that is gnosko. It's number 1097, it's this word.
Strong's G 1097. Gnosko. Gnosko.
Okay, that's a verb. It's a prolonged form of a primary verb. Okay, and let me get my focus in on this. Let's go down here to the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Is to know absolutely. Right? And, okay. In the Thayer's, just see here. Is to learn to know, come to know, to get knowledge of, or to understand. See, when you're out here going up and down and stuff, and you cross it, you're getting closer and closer and closer. God is, you're attaining that knowledge, and it's God is as you're agreeing to God in this pressurized, hot, fiery trial stuff as storms of life, and you're agreeing, God gives you increase. You're the frequency of how often you're crossing this, or you're in this will of God, the frequency of it, just like coming from a radio wave, which has a real long frequency, real slow. See, that's whenever it does a full wavelength, goes here from the base, from the pipeline, basically the line, going all the way up to the top. And it's good. And it goes down, crosses that pipeline of God, which is the love of God. It's beyond words. And it goes down here. I'm bad. And then finally come back up to good. It's a long wavelength. That's one wavelength. Okay? Now you go all the way out here, and as you're getting closer and closer to that gamma ray, which originates from inside this nucleus, inside God. Okay, it's in this way in God. Okay? It's the fastest. That wavelength is like, it doesn't even come out of that pipeline, out of that thing. It's right in it. So that's a big, heavy pipeline through there. That line going through the middle. All this good and evil stuff is way out here, and you miss it all the way through. There's like gamma rays, radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, the visible light spectrum, X-rays, even in infrared, and even in the X-rays, because it's really, really fast. But it's still originating from outside the nucleus, outside that pipeline of God. Outside, it's not all the way there yet. All right, but the frequency speeds up all the way through there. From real slow, takes a long time. Lumpty-dumpty-dump-dump-dump-dump-dump. Like that old cartoon, that, whether Beaky the Buzzard or Killer. Beep, bumblebee. Right? Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Bringing on my baby bumblebee. Big old dumb dog, about like a dumb donkey, but a big old dumb buzzard. Right? Thinking they're doing the will of God. They're missing almost all the time. Okay? Not really getting much. It's crazy. All right, that's just a funny. Okay, and you're getting a little faster, a little faster, a little faster. Pretty soon well, not pretty, it takes a while, but each one of these thought processes. Just because you do it once don't mean you're there and everywhere you think. To he that endures unto the end of this age, the end of this life, the same shall be delivered. You're coming back little bit by little bit by little bit, little marble by little marble by little marble, going down this funnel. Right, then back in, and that's why in God. Whatever place you're sticking at, if you keep turning around, you get stuck like a pillar of salt. Not that you're condemned, but you just, as far as God's made us find where to put you. And there's all kinds of these things. Who knows? It's God knows. God puts you in the body, places you in the body where He sees fit. Okay? No problems. It's just He's giving you, putting you in there wherever. And the first fruit, the tithe, the 10%, goes a lot farther. And the tithe of the tithe goes all the way down, I like to call it 1% or less. So 10% of 100 is 10%. 10, right? And a tithe of that, 10% of that is 1. So it's 1 or less. 1 or less will get, there's different stages of these rewards, different levels, and that's in your mind. There's different amounts of that could change. God changes it, and then different amounts of everyone else. Everybody in their own order is brought back. Jesus was a pattern son, did it perfectly to show us God incarnate. Okay. You can't do it no better than that. Okay. Now, that's not to condemn you and say, oh, well, I better give up then. No, it's so that you go on. Okay. Now, so it's saying if or whether, and then this knowledge is gnosko, gnosis, and then from the root of that is gnosko, and that's gaining this knowledge. And it's getting faster, faster, faster until you're right in that knowledge and you're resting, relying upon God, and you're not coming out because God is holding you. You're like this little sun, that little marble has been transformed into and compressed and everything to boom, it ignites. God ignites it as a fire. It's wow, it's so fast, man, it's on fire. I'm on fire. Like that old video game, NBA Jam, where you make three baskets in a row without missing. All of a sudden it starts going, you're on fire. You get special stuff. It's just old game, but it just kind of makes that up something memorable. Okay. Now, so it's just like that language and the tongues. Once it's obtained all the way in, and that's why in God, you don't have you don't need actual language. You're right in God. You're resting, relying upon God. You're quantumly tangled, up or down. Quantum quarks inside the protons and neutrons. Protons, up and down. You know exactly, instantaneously. Right? You can request, but if you don't line up, oh, okay. There's no longer, well, I might hang on to this good thing because it's a good thing, God. Next thing you know, pillar salt. Oh no, I stepped in it, didn't I? I'm trying to eat that crap. Or down here, I'm dirty, rotten, blah, 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 dirty, rotten, blah, 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 you know, it's unintelligible talk. I couldn't make a heads or tails of what you was just saying. Well, that's what that old carnal nature tries to convince you, bark at you and hee-haw and all this psst, and quack, quack, all kinds of gobbledygooky stuff. It don't match with God's love beyond words. It don't match with God's correction. Oh, it might be taken like it's a good thing. It just appeases you temporarily. It don't satisfy you permanently. Only God can. Okay? You got to believe and persist to stay consistent and diligently seeking God to be 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, right? Those little strands of rope being braided, twisted into a stronger, stronger, stronger rope. God's doing all that work. You're just agreeing. Thank you, Lord, because I sure can't do this. I can't even hardly identify what that dark matter and dark energy stuff is. All that crap stuff around me. What the heck? I'll be in a fog. And I can't see a lick. We see in the mirror dimly, right? Yeah, we'll get to that. It's later in this chapter, okay? Can't see the truth, bro. No. It's fog in my face. Right? Now, to that knowledge, trying to make up your own mind what's good and evil, and trying to, what'd you say, God? You know it. Quantumly entangled inside there, and you're looking, and you're tightly locked. You're always facing, focusing on God. Do what you got to do with the other eye. And one eye is facing. It's focused on God. The same side of the moon, tightly locked to the earth. It's always showing one side when you look at it. When you look up the sky, it's always the same side. It's tightly locked. It's not spinning. All right? You're not sitting there spinning your wheels up and down, double-minded, up and down, tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine, up and down, it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. No, you're tightly locked to God. Quantumly entangled. It's like you're looking. You see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. You're quick to hear what the Spirit says to the churches, to you. Inside, internally. And slow to respond to that other stuff. You stop responding. You're not stirred by that stuff no more. Okay? Now, this knowledge, trying to pick it up and down, okay? Now we're getting down to this last word in there. I already said a little bit about that. Stirred. They're not stirred by that stuff. Alright, let's get to it. We already covered this word before. They translate it a different way now, but it's the same word. Now, this "it shall vanish away" is the exact same word as is used back here for "they shall fail." It says prophecies, they shall fail. Number 2673 is this word.
Strong's G 2673. Katargeo.
Okay.
Katargeo.
Katargeo. Katargeo. I covered that before. And let's go on down. Now down here, the next one on those tongues, they shall cease, is a different word, 3973.
Strong's G 3973. Powell.
Okay.
Powell.
I covered that word too. Now this word, coming right back, "it shall vanish away." Talking about that knowledge. Trying to make the God knowledge, trying to figure out, is this good and evil thing that I don't want? Not sure. Trying to base it on your thing. That knowledge of good and evil vanish away. You're in that pipeline. God's holding you, and you're all the way in, and that's why in God. And that's in each and every thought process, a little area. Okay, and that one is 2673, Colorado.
Strong's G 2673.
Catargale. Okay. About to run out of time. Let me see here. I got it back here in the notes, and then I've got it up here. Yeah, right there. That one's a verb. It comes from 2596 and 691. Okay, I've covered this before, but in short, and it's going to have to be short because I won't down to less than a minute. It becomes inactive, unemployed. It's no longer needed. This up here and down here. Is it good or is it bad? No, when you get all the way out there, E-N-S-Y and God, just like that gamma ray, right in there, and you're on fire. I'm on fire for you, God. In this area of your thinking, God's holding you in there tighter than the protons and neutrons are held in the nucleus of an atom. Booyah, that strong nuclear force is nothing compared to God holding you. You're permanently welded. You're fixed in God. E-N-S-Y in God. You're rested in God and held tightly and securely. Therefore, this up, down, up, that's rendered useless. Okay? Now, that's been Spiritual Toolbox number 114.